In part 4 of our MetroPhotog server series, we're going to be talking all about the most important part of our server, at least for file serving, and that is how we're going to structure our storage. Welcome back to our server series of videos here at MetroPhotog's official YouTube channel. My name is Joe from MetroPhotog.com, and in this video, installment number 4, we're going to talk all about our storage, which for us is going to be the most important part of our server because we're using it primarily, obviously, as a storage server, which we talked about earlier. So if you haven't seen any of the other videos, go back and watch those videos. In the first installation, we talked about why it is important to build a server. In the second one, we talked all about the case and the cooling. In the third one, I talked all about power under the hood and your critical components. In this one, we're going to talk all about storage. So first of all, our boot drive in our system is going to be a solid-state drive. And for us, I actually had another solid-state drive lying around that I'm going to be using just for the boot device. And the primary reason is because it's a lot smaller and it's going to afford me a little bit more room in our small case. And it also produces a less heat, which is really nice. Uses less power, makes less heat, and takes up a lot less room. So that's really good when you have a really tight server build. Also, the solid-state drive is good for when you have a lot of read cycles and a lot of write cycles on your primary boot drive. And a lot of people will say, well, you know, solid-state drives aren't good for continuous read-write systems. And earlier on, that was the truth. They really weren't good with no trim support, so on and so forth. So now, solid-state drives have a lot of new technologies and wear leveling and so on and so forth. So I'm going to be using a newer solid-state drive that I've had laying around after I've upgraded my main machine. It's going to be a Vertex 3, I think, 120 gigabyte drive, which would be perfect for that. So fast boot times, you know, very fast native applications. Boot drive only is going to be our solid-state drive. Now our storage pool, though, is going to be a RAID array. And because we're going to be serving this content or serving up with these files over a network, I wanted the storage to be fast. So for the primary storage pool, we're going to have a striped RAID array, meaning we're going to have 2 drives, and as the data is coming into the server, it's going to be split in 2, and then half of that data will be written to one drive and the other half will be written to the other drive. Now, if this is your means of backup, this is not a safe way to handle your files. And why is that? Because if one of those drives fails, now you only have half your data, and that's a big problem. You're not able to recover the other half. And there are other levels of RAID out there that have a lot more fault tolerance, have a lot more tolerance to system drive or system errors or RAID errors. And so if this is the only means of storage that you're going to have, you do not want to have a striped array. You might even want a mirrored array, which is RAID 1, where as the data comes in, yes, it's split in 2 between 2 drives, but the same thing is written on both of those drives, meaning that you have 2 copies of each. Sometimes even 4, 6, 8 copies, however you set up your RAID array. So more research has to be done into RAID if that's something you're looking into. We're going to be using a striped array because we're also going to have external backups. We're going to have external drives that are going to be connected to the server, and they're going to be backing up the server incrementally. Whenever there's a change done on that storage pool, it'll be backed up to the external drives, which will make it okay to be doing such an aggressive file system. And so we're going to be balancing the speed with reliability and data integrity. And our RAID system will be hardware driven, meaning that the built-in chipset on the motherboard is going to be doing that RAID system, not software-wise. One of the problems with software RAID is that there is an ability to corrupt the RAID from a software miscalculation. And now this could happen at the hardware level too, but it's a lot more robust at the hardware level. So it's always advisable to go with a hardware RAID versus a software RAID, not only for speed, but also for data integrity. Hardware RAIDs, though, prove to be a lot more expensive, especially when you get into RAID 5s and ZFS systems and Z-RAIDs. So depending upon what your needs are, they might be, and also your budget, they might be out of your reach. So like I said, our main file system is going to be a RAID 0 data stripe, where we're going to take on the data on one channel but split it between two drives. And whenever that data is changed or added to or subtracted from, whatever, it's going to be incrementally backed up to external drives that are going to be on the system. Eventually, my goal is to have a RAID 5 array connected to the system with, a SAS system, but that's very expensive right now and something that we really don't need at the moment. So this is how we're going to handle that speed with the data integrity. First, we're going to start out with the stripe, and then hopefully eventually go to RAID 5, where RAID 5 will allow, depending upon how many drives you have, one or more drives fail without losing any of your data. And like I said, we're going to have a good backup system. So you have to have a plan to upgrade and expand that storage pool for the future. So whenever you're going out and you're purchasing your drives, be thinking about the future. You don't want to set yourself up to have to spend even more money to upgrade it in the future. Look at what's available on the market today, where the market is going in terms of new technology, and think about where you think your business or wherever your storage needs will be in the future. A lot of people are looking to the cloud for backup and for storage systems, but right now the way that they are cost prohibitive, and they're also performance prohibitive as well. So think about all those things. Just for your solid backup, being in the cloud is not a bad idea because it's off-site. And really for your raw files, for your pictures, they are very important to us. They're mission critical. A lot of them, they're priceless pictures of our family and relatives. You have to make sure that data is protected. It's not a bad idea to have 2, 3, 4 copies of all those raw images, or just any image, and even have one of those copies off-site somewhere else, out of your house or wherever your office is, so that if something does happen in one of those areas, you still have a copy somewhere else. So always be cognizant of your important data and make sure that you're well protected. So this video has been all about how your storage needs need to be fulfilled, and also what we're going to be doing with our server. Like I said, boot drive will be a solid state drive. Our main storage pool will be a stripe of 2 2-terabyte drives, which I think I got on sale from Tiger Direct. Maybe I'll put a link in the description below of the drives that we chose. And also have a good backup system, which will be in our external drives connected to the back of our server. Eventually, we'll be going to a RAID 5 array, and if we do, I will definitely do a video on that in the future. So that's been our video all about our storage pools. Thank you so much for watching. In the next video, we're going to talk all about power requirements and how to choose the right power supply. Again, thank you so much for watching. This has been the 4th installment of our server series of videos. If you have any questions, make sure you put them in the comments below. If you want to ask the question also on our website, you can go to www.metrophotog.com/contact, where you can fill out the form and it sends a message right to our inboxes. Make sure you're following us on Twitter and Facebook. That's where all the videos go when they are posted on YouTube. That's the first place we notify. Thank you again so much for watching. If this video helped you out in any way, make sure you click the like button. Thanks again.